Hey everyone, welcome to the Saturday Night Live. Once again, let me know, make sure I'm coming through clean 5x5. I'd have been on sooner, but I was out with Mrs. Guru real quick, and I was collecting a tasty beverage. So tonight it's just a Sam Adams winter ale, winter white ale. So, cheers to you guys. And I hope all of you are prepared for the snowpocalypse that's coming later tonight into tomorrow, all the way through till Monday. Normally, like today I was teaching. Normally tomorrow I'd be teaching, but it's all canceled because of the snowstorm. We are going to ride it out. Plenty of wood for a fire if we need it. And then dig out. I'm just glad Guru Jr.'s job site is shut down Monday. Thus, I'm not getting up at 3:30 in the morning to help dig everything out since it will still be actively snowing. So I had this whole thing planned out tonight. I figure since we got the snowpocalypse coming, we would review some old videos from legacy stuff from another channel. Kind of do some breakdowns and all that. If we have time, we'll get to it. But had a great class today. Had some wonderful students. Had a few new shooters who have never touched a firearm a day in their life, and they did absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really proud of them all. So hopefully they're tuning in tonight too. But on my way home, I was listening to just some of the headlines, trying to catch up because during the day I'm not touching my phone, not looking at the news. And turns out there was a shooting in Minneapolis dealing with the ICE officers and some 37-year-old. So I figured I'd get into that, take a look at it. I did do some cursory research. I don't have a ton of answers for you. I do have some footage and some article stuff. And then we'll jump into other stuff. And then about 10 minutes prior to getting off, we'll start going through chats. So get in your super chats. Share the video with everybody you know. Like everybody. Get the word out there, especially if they are a 2A supporter. Definitely like this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and toggle the notification bell. This way you know every single time I put up a new video and when we do a live. So maybe I'll do a video during the week where we kind of look at old legacy videos, or we'll save that for next Saturday night or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, so let's jump right into the news. But first, I always forget this. But first, down in the description below is going to be a link for the merch store. I just put this one up. Someone asked for it on this website. It is Connecticut, the unconstitutional state. It's just a Connecticut flag upside down. Of course, we've got the Navy Way and Guns and Coffee, which is another channel we haven't done anything with. And America's birthday shirt. Right there. It's got the logo on the back with the little gun guy. You see that all the time on this channel when we do lives. And the front has this very lovely little image I made, and it says, "Freedom through violence since 1776. That's right. It is the 250th anniversary of America. Let's celebrate it. Everybody's favorite, Guns and Ammo, and of course the FAFO formula, which there seems to be a lot of that going on. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this week's been insane when it comes to news between our AR case that is before SCOTUS, which apparently it didn't go anywhere, which we'll talk about later. All the things that are happening in Minnesota. We got a giant snowstorm coming and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get all into it. Of course, if you need to get a hold of me, you have my website where you can send me a message, and it's got all of the alternate links. So if this beautiful, awesome channel ever gets nuked, you can always find me on Rumble, BitChute, Grey Hive, and Odyssey. Rumble and BitChute, and I think Odyssey, all have legacy videos going all the way back a couple of years, long before this channel existed. And then, of course, we have your firearms training area, and I will obviously share any new courses that come up throughout the spring, summer, and into the fall, in case you guys want to take more advanced courses. I did share one today that I saw dealing with shooting from inside and around a vehicle. This one is in November. So if something like that might be your jam, by all means, go look at it, sign up. It's got nothing to do with me. I get nothing out of it. I am just trying to provide you guys a really cool service. So feel free to go there. And also down in the description below, I put a link, just because the times are spicy. It is a link for a free PDF on 12 ways to have situational awareness. And that link is at the top. Just click on it, plug in your info, and they will email it to you. Simple as that. All right, now let's get into what's going on right here. Alex Pretti, 37, identified as the man fatally shot by Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis. Now, here's the deal. I have no idea what's going on with this. I have seen a couple of videos from a couple of different angles, but there is like nothing, absolutely nothing that is clear cut on what happened. The videos that are available are super grainy and really hard to follow. So I did pull a few samples. This is coming out of Fox News, and it says the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, identified the man fatally shot by a Border Patrol agent in Minneapolis on Saturday as one of its members, Alex Jeffrey Pretti. Pretti was a 37-year-old Minneapolis resident, an ICU nurse. He was shot at an immigration enforcement operation early Saturday, targeting Jose Chuma, an illegal immigrant with a criminal history, including domestic assault for intentional conflict, or assault for intentional conflict, bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. I don't understand why these people are protesting in Minnesota for these types of people, but it's their right to protest, and I support it as long as they do it peacefully, right? I mean, that's what you're allowed to do. First Amendment says you're allowed to basically say whatever you want, peacefully assemble and protest. The key word there is peacefully. Now, from what I am gathering, this individual was a lawful carrier. He had his permit, and in Minnesota, they can open carry. Now, whether he was open carrying or not isn't clear. From some of the photos I've seen, it doesn't look like he's open carrying. I did see a few videos where it looks like when the ICE agents wrestled him to the ground, there was a singular shot, and then ICE agents opened up on him. I don't know if when he was getting physical with ICE, if his firearm discharged, or if it was another officer's. I don't know. It's not very clear at all, and right now it's very, very murky, so I don't want to get too, deep and being too speculative about the whole thing. I did pull some stuff from X, and I'll show it real quick. I'm going to try and stop it before, the deed is done. But here's an angle, and you can see all the arguing and wrestling. Right there, ICE is pepper spraying the piss out of them. They push that one person down, and the person right here in the brown is the individual that ends up being shot by ICE agents. So they're spraying him, and I don't know what he's doing, wrestling with the individual that was pushed down or trying to help them up. I don't know. It's very unclear at this point. And it looks like ICE is grabbing him, dragging him to the ground. I really hate this. Let's see if I can turn it down a little. Right there, they get him on the ground. They start hitting. Couldn't tell you what's going on. Looks like they're wrestling for something. It's a whole mess. Something went flying right over here. Can't tell you what that is. And there's the first one. Now, the reason they're zooming in is this right here is an ICE agent, and he has a firearm in his hand. this firearm looks to be like it was the victim's firearm and this ICE agent removed it. Now, is that what it is? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the way this video is showing is alluding that the individual was disarmed prior to ICE shooting them. Again, I don't know. That's one of the things I'm seeing. Bringing up this account right here. Empty hand, then gun in hand appears. The man may have been disarmed before being shot. Chain of events is in a greater conflict, and neither side cares at this point. The whole area is just pandemonium. The place is insane. This is a totally different angle, and there's a bunch. It slows down, but empty hand right there. You can see they're wrestling around with the individual. There's the person they just highlighted. He's going in. Again, empty hand. He grabs something. He's wrestling. There he is. Gun in hand. Where did the gun come from? Was it the victim on the ground's gun? I'm not sure. But they start shooting. There's the gun right there. And this ICE agent just runs completely away. Completely away. I mean, the longer footage shows that person, that officer, running between the two vehicles and just takes off to who knows where. Now, the video, again, is very grainy. They have shown some shots of the gun on the seat. I was just looking through X real quick to see if they have any of the shots as you guys watch, just doom scroll. That's the individual. You can see he was there with a camera just observing, but I am not right there.
Shooter's gun, and I'm familiar with this gun.
So right there is the firearm that was taken away from the individual. You can see it's got FDE slide, FDE grips with a red dot. And if we look back at the video, this officer looks to be like that is exactly what's in his hand. Again, I'm not sure. So did I shoot him while he was unarmed? I don't know. It looked like chaos. Officer screams gun, 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 or he has a weapon, something that alludes to that, and then they open fire. I don't know. Let's not jump to conclusions. These people have a right to protest as long as it's peaceful. This individual sounds like he had a right to have his gun, which, hey, you're exercising First Amendment, Second Amendment, that's awesome. Getting down and dirty and in the way of ICE is not okay. They have a job to do. They are enforcing the law. If you don't like the law, petition your politicians to change the law. But the vast majority of people that voted for the current president voted for this to happen. Whether you support it or not, that is exactly what we voted for. We wanted these individuals, these illegals who are breaking our laws outside of that one, but like the diddlers, the gang members, all of these people, we want them gone. Get rid of them all. So Minnesota is a hotbed between the daycare centers, which don't really exist, and they just collect a bunch of money, to ICE just trying to get their job done, and now you have all these protesters where people are losing their mind. Hell, I saw it today, just a little bit ago, due to this, it happened at 9 a.m. their time in the morning, they were planning a rally here. I don't want to call it a riot. We'll call it a rally, a protest here in Hartford. So things are just really spiraling out of control. I have no idea. I mean, I've seen everyone talk about, oh my God, it's a civil war, a cold civil war. I don't know. You guys gotta let me know what you think. Or is it spiraling all out of control, or is it just the media that's doing it? But honestly, I don't see a clear path out of this. Tim Walz has, obviously, he's done a press conference earlier. He told the president to get ICE out of Minnesota, which he's not going to do. Some politicians have called to defund and abolish ICE altogether. That's never going to happen. And then I did see that Walz and a bunch of other politicians are blaming Trump, his administration, on all of this, even though the governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis are fomenting these people to resist with their rhetoric and, get out in the streets and fight them, so on and so forth. So both sides are at a head, and it's all going to implode. That's what it feels like. I think it's all going to implode. I mean, it's literally -15 in Minneapolis, and they're out there protesting in the cold, which is rare. Usually, if it's cold, if it's rainy, if there's snow, nobody protests. It's only during the warm months when it's beautiful outside. So it's serious if they're out there in the cold weather, -15. So I don't know what to tell you on that one. You guys let me know what you think. I think it's going to get way worse before it gets any better. And that's just me. All right, that's enough about that. I don't have enough information on it to give you guys really a decent breakdown. I know it's an absolute shit show there. So, but I did want to show you guys this. During the week, I did a video and we were talking about SCOTUS and how they took Nagar v. Lamont and they took Grant v. Higgins and they put them together. So it's one big, beautiful case. And it was supposed to go to conference, and then it didn't. It got pushed off. So let me pull it up for you. Right here is Nagar, the National Association for Gun Rights, v. Lamont. This is the one specifically dealing with AR-15s in the state of Connecticut and what they call the high-capacity magazine. If we scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see January 15th, it was rescheduled. Rescheduled for when? I have no idea. Originally, it looked like it was rescheduled for later next week, but then it changed over to just rescheduled. Now, if we go to the same spot, but we're looking at case number 25-566, which is Grant v. Higgins, and you scroll down, no, January 23rd, which was yesterday, we got a reply of Eddie Grant Jr. was submitted, which, that's it right there. It's from the state, and nothing else. That's the end of it. We don't know when it's going in. I don't. I've talked to Eddie. Eddie said not till next week, but he also has not heard much from his legal team, so we don't know when. Of course, we know CCL is going to be tight-lipped on this, which I get. They don't discuss cases that are ongoing, etc., but between the state of Connecticut stalling and, the Supreme Court just being feckless and not ever wanting to take one of these cases, I couldn't tell you. Hopefully something will happen, but who knows what. I don't know. When I know something, you guys will know something. I'll give you guys an update, even if it's just a short. So, that's that. Now, speaking of AR-15s, Virginia has gone insane. Assault weapons ban introduced for Fairfax by the Fairfax legislators. So, this is Senator Saddam Aslan Salim. Is a Democrat from the 37th District in Virginia. Listen, last week, Virginia's governor and their Senate and their House and all that, they took control, right? So Democrats took over Virginia. And in less than 48 hours, they undid everything from the past 4 years. This is one of them. Virginia, which I used to live in Virginia. That's where I was stationed for many years. And Virginia wasn't never that bad. Virginia was, purple. They had some good things. They had some bad things. I've talked about it before in other videos where the town I lived in, we had a Democrat mayor who was actually pretty good. She, I didn't agree with all her policies, but she was pretty good. And I had no problem with her in power. She wasn't a psychopath. Well, now in Virginia, since they've taken over, they introduced a bill to ban assault weapons in Virginia starting July 1st. It was introduced Wednesday. The gun violence is an epidemic in this country, and we'd like to take action to stop it. Salam said, in crafting this legislation, consulted public safety experts, blah, blah, blah. So the bill, SB 749, seeks to prohibit importation, sale, and possession of assault firearms and certain ammunition feeding devices. The key with this one, there is no grandfather clause. Thus, if you already own one, if this were to go through and they ban it, you got to get rid of yours. You cannot keep them. Here in Connecticut, at least there was a grandfather clause. When they did the first AR ban, if you owned them, the pre-bans, you could keep them. We could still transfer pre-bans to other people. Of course, we had the Connecticut Other. And then in 2023, with the passage of HB Satan 7, they banned Connecticut Others. But if you owned them, you were grandfathered in and you could keep them. Originally, they were talking about how we couldn't transfer them except in death or out of state. It's gotten a little easier. You can transfer them like to immediate family type people, not to like a friend, but to like, father to son, husband to wife, things like that. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I'm sure that the chat will fix it. But Virginia, 0. No grandfather clause whatsoever. You're just going to have to surrender them. And when you go through this bill, it is absolutely insane. Importation, sale, possession, etc. of assault weapon or assault firearms and certain ammunition feeding devices. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it is dystopian. That's the nicest thing I could say about it. It is horrifying what they're doing. They have all kinds of crazy things that they're coming out with about this bill. In fact, I shared a video. I'm going to pull it up for you right here. This is Jennifer Foy from Virginia. And this is what she had to say about the whole thing.
So with great power comes great responsibility. And there is only one industry in this country who enjoys special immunity. We regulate everything from tires to teddy bears, but we do not regulate the gun industry in the same way. So you may ask why this is important. It is important because there are common sense, practical things that the gun industry can do to bring down suicide, violence, mass shootings, homicides, unintended gun discharges. Something as simple as fingerprint recognition on guns. But they refuse to do it because they don't have to, because there's no real liability for them. And that's where it has to stop. We know that in this Commonwealth and in this country, no one is above the law, and that includes the firearm industry. And that is why this bill is so important. And so federal law gives the gun industry special immunity, shielding it from responsibility when they cause harm. Our bill is really simple. It says if your business practices endanger public safety, you should be held accountable like everyone else. The message is clear. Not now, not in Virginia. No industry is above the law.
All right, so she is talking about something Connecticut just did. In Connecticut, we just passed HB 7042. It took effect October 1st, and it is a slap in the face to PLACA, which protects gun industries from frivolous lawsuits because they make guns, and guns are used in crimes. Virginia is doing the same thing. Now, I want to back up and break this down piece by piece.
Tires to teddy bears, but we do not regulate the gun industry.
Okay, so she's talking about tires to teddy bears, that we don't regulate the gun industry in the same way. Yes, we do. In fact, it is way worse on the gun industry, but we all know that.
The same way. So you may ask why this is important. It is important because there are common sense, practical things that the gun industry can do to bring down suicide.
I want to know how Glock, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, what can they possibly do manufacturing firearms to bring down suicide? What could they do? Nothing.
Violence, mass shootings.
Okay, violence and mass shootings. Again, what is Glock, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Taurus, what are they going to do? Name one thing that they could do to stop this stuff. I bet you can't. And neither can they.
Homicides, unintended gun discharges.
Unintended gun discharges. That's operator error. That's just people being stupid and not following the basic rules for firearm safety. Like, treat every gun as if it's loaded. Lock the slide to the rear and inspect it. Make sure there's nothing in there, no magazine, nothing in the chamber, etc., etc.
Something as simple as fingerprint recognition on guns.
That's the big one. Something as simple as fingerprint recognition on guns. These politicians get these dumbass ideas from movies, from TV shows. The technology is not perfect for this. It doesn't exist the way they think it does. And even if it did, it's stupid to implement stuff like this. Because if I have a firearm and it's keyed to my fingerprint, just mine, and I get incapacitated and Mrs. Guru needs to use the firearm, now it's not going to work. That literally, that makes no sense. These people have such dumb ideas. But this is what the Virginia legislative body has come up with. Stuff like this. So they're crafting a new law basically to circumvent PLACA and get around it. So, and I like how she said, with great power comes great responsibility. The gun industry must play a part in reducing gun violence. What are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. How about we enforce the laws that are already on the books and we actually go after these criminals? We stop slapping them on the hand and saying, bad, you shouldn't have done that, and then releasing them. That's not what we do. We enforce the laws, and laws will then crush the crime. But we don't do that. We just, it's not your fault, you didn't know any better, etc. They do it here, they do it in Virginia, they do it in California. I mean, hell, I was just reading an article where a known gang member who is being held for a homicide, basically a gangland murder, was released by a judge to avoid ICE picking him up because he is in our country illegally, and she was afraid that ICE would deport his ass. So she released him back into society. That is so stupid. That is so dumb. Other things Virginia is talking about doing is repealing mandatory minimum sentences across the board. Defelonize certain drug possession. I'm sure that's going to go over real well. End mass surveillance. They want to end mass surveillance. Yeah, Connecticut keeps letting towns put up those little speed cameras. Talk about mass surveillance. Ban Fourth Amendment plea bargain waivers. Protect people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Okay, I could see that one. Slew of gun laws that they're talking about. And there's just a bunch of stuff. It's bad. I'm like, at this point, I'm glad I don't live there anymore. I mean, some of them were like, make it illegal to hand count ballots. Make it to where you have election day, but 3 days after election day, you can still count mail-in ballots versus cutting them off and things like this. It's insane. These people are absolutely nuts. I'm just glad I'm not there anymore. And I did see this. I want to bring this up. This, again, remember, guys, I follow all these groups so you don't have to, because they do make your head hurt. This is off of Facebook. It is Connecticut Against Gun Violence, and this was just put out 2 days ago. It says, strong gun laws save lives. And Connecticut proves it. Connecticut has some of the strongest gun safety laws in the country, and the evidence is clear. States with stronger gun laws experience lower rates of gun death. And these policies just didn't happen by accident. They exist because advocates, lawmakers, and community members work together to put public safety first. As the legislation session continues, protecting and strengthening these life-saving laws remain critical. Progress is possible, but only if we stay engaged. Luckily, this legislative session coming up starting next month is a short one and deals only with pretty much fiscal things. So like state budget, stuff like that. The only thing I can think of when it comes to firearms and fiscalness would be that stupid ammo tax. Or maybe cranking up the cost of getting a gun permit in the state of Connecticut. So instead of paying the $70, I think a couple of years ago they tried to crank it up to like $400. That's about it. That's the only things I really could foresee. They can't do any like massive gun control legislation like they did last year in that legislative session, where I think at some point we had close to like 56 gun bills. It was an obscene number. And as they slowly died in committee, they pick and chose different sections to go in other bills that were looking a lot better. That's one of the reasons HB 7042 went from 6 pages to 4 pages to 15 pages to 26 pages when it was finally passed, because they filled it up with sections of other laws that died in committee, like not being able to sell guns that can easily be converted or reasonably foreseeable to be converted from legal to illegal, which is every gun. So that got shoved in there at the last minute, etc. So I wanted to bring this up. This is 2 days ago, January 22nd. They're talking about how Connecticut is way better and all that good stuff. And I personally, I don't think it is. And I'm going to pull this up because I just saw this and I thought you guys would like to see it. If I can find it. You know, I shared it and who knows where it went. Maybe I put it down here. Oh, I did put it down here. Let me just open it up for you guys. In case you guys hadn't heard, I wanted to make sure. Because remember what Connecticut Against Gun Violence said? Our laws keep us safe. Well, this just happened today. Okay, they arrested these two because on the 19th at approximately 12:03 p.m., Meriden police officers were dispatched to the area of Cook Avenue and Summer Street for a report of a person had been shot. Now, it was originally said it was a woman, but it was a dude. It was a gentleman who died. Upon arrival, officers located a 22-year-old male, Deron Johnson, suffering from at least one gunshot wound. Officers immediately initiated life-saving measures. Johnson was later pronounced dead at Mid-State Medical Center. Okay. All our gun laws are keeping us real safe, guys, right? Because they're like, oh, crime's down, crime's down, crime's down. It doesn't feel like it. I think crime is up. Now, this particular area of Meriden is down by the old Meriden Wallingford Hospital, which is abandoned and has been abandoned forever. It is not the best section of the Dirty Den. It's pretty bad down there. Okay. The Meriden Police Department launched an intense investigation into Johnson's murder. Today, on the 24th, after following up on multiple leads, both Aaron Scott and Donovan Still were taken into custody pursuant to the homicide investigation. Both individuals were taken into custody in the city of Milford. They were both taken into custody with the assistance of Milford PD without incident. Johnson's immediate family has been notified of the arrests. Maryland Police Department again extends its sincerest condolences to Ron Johnson's family and loved ones. This investigation was brought to a quick resolution with the assistance of New Haven's State Attorney Office, Milford Police Department, and the Hartford Police Department. Now, the question is, what's going to happen to them? Will they play it down? Will they just be released? Will our laws be upheld? Or did they just arrest these people and then we're going to let them go, never prosecute anything, and hope it just goes away? Couldn't tell you. But I don't have a lot of faith in the justice system in Connecticut. Too many times we've seen things pled down, nollied, just totally dismissed, things like that. It's not good. It's absolute crap. That's just what I think. Me personally. So, you guys let me know what you think. And of course you had this is going on in Minnesota. I just wanted to bring it up. This before I switch over, just be aware it's not good. So if you have little kids watching this, just be mindful. Right there. It looks like, from what I understand, an IVES officer was attacked and his little ring finger tip got bit off. In fact, there it is. And they cannot reattach it. And it was these two. They bit his finger off. What is wrong with people? Oh my God. Got all nibbly on them. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's all falling apart. And we're just watching it happen in real time. I think it's insane. Absolutely nuts. So, you guys let me know what you think. I think this country is just going to be spiraling into going from a cold civil war to a more hot civil war, just because right now you've got Minnesota going against feds. Walz has called up the National Guard. Is he going to use them against federal agents? Then Trump's going to nationalize the federal guard. He's going to federalize the National Guard so he can control them. And it's bedlam. It is absolute bedlam. It's insane. I think the governor and the mayor in Minnesota and Minneapolis are both way in over their head. That's me. I mean, how about you? When I listen to Tim Walz, it hurts my head. I don't think he knows what he's doing. It's really, really bad. But it's going to start spilling over. I mean, whatever happens there will cascade to like New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, California, etc. So, just make sure you have all your stuff in order, please. Don't get caught with your pants down. Just looking over at some of my notes to see if there's anything else I really wanted to cover. There's a new lawsuit from Cameron Atkinson, but I'm going to make a standalone video on that, just in case you guys didn't know. And I'd covered everything I wanted to. Virginia's laws, local criminal stuff, and SCOTUS. So let me take a gander at your chats. Get them in there. We'll see if anything is there. Anything kicks off. I got to expand this because YouTube decides they're going to jump. All right, Louis Torres says, good evening to all, Mr. Guru. Howdy, sir. Glad you're here. Eric says, hello, Todd. Howdy, Eric. Eric Warren says, this is all I needed just before the snow dusting. I'm glad you think it's going to be a dusting. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're talking about us get schwacked. Like, oh my God, we're getting 18 inches, and we're joking here. And in the Guru household, it's like nothing's going to happen. It's going to blow right by us, and we're going to have just a dusting. Because, come on. A weatherman's the only job where you can be wrong or right, and it doesn't matter. You still get paid. Usually they're wrong. I do know that down in Tennessee, our family down there is currently going through the ice storm, and they're supposed to get like 3 inches of ice. I'm glad that's not what we're getting. We're just getting the snow. I can deal with the snow. 3 inches of ice is insane because this isn't like urban areas. This is rural. So your power lines go down. It's going to be a while. So it's, it's going to be rough on them, but they should be good to go. They're good, hardy people. Viking Queen 76 says, good evening. Viking Queen, I hope you got your Claymore. I sent it off to you. Clay the Claymore is gone. I know you see Clay right here. That's my Clay. I shot off the other Clay that was part of the giveaway. Papa Chula 484 says, Connecticut Democrat politicians, please go to Minnesota and confront DHS and ICE on the streets. That would be funny. Now, here's the thing with DHS. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I guess Walz, during his press conference, he was ranting and raving, and he literally said, DHS is not law enforcement. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. ICE are federal agents. They are police. They have arrest capabilities. They can arrest you. Even if it's got nothing to do with the border or immigration or customs. If they see you do something bad, something illegal, they can pull you over and arrest you. It's just the way it works. They're not going to watch you assault somebody on the street and be like, drats. That has nothing to do with customs or enforcement or immigration. Oh well. No, they're going to intervene. So they are law enforcement. Louis Torres, good evening, Viking Queen. Hail from the old. It should be All Father. He's put Old Father. It's All Father. All. A-L-L. All Father. And Papa Chulo says, Sheeple Democrats listening to the DEM dog whistle. Listen, all I know is there's a lot of whistling going on there. Where they got those stupid little orange whistles blowing them. It drives me nuts. I can't stand them. Listen, again, I understand protesting and I'm all for it. Please, go. Petition your government. Protest, all that good stuff. Don't stand in the damn road. Do not block the federal officers from doing their job. And don't fight them. You're going to lose. It's that simple. Now, I'm not saying I agree with all of it. I'm just saying they are enforcing the law. The law is the law. It's that simple. Louis Torres says, this all them doing all this rioting. Yes, they are definitely not conservatives. And I don't care what political side you're on. I'm personally on the side of America. But I'll say this. Charlie Kirk was murdered in front of everybody. We all saw those videos. Where were our riots? Where were the conservatives at burning down what? Nothing. Yeah, we didn't do anything. We were like, oh my God, that's a tragedy. That sucks. We're sad. Boo. Okay, I got to go to work. I have a job to do. Now, Renee, that chick that was killed in Minnesota because she tried to run over an officer with her car, was shot. And the protests got worse. ICE is showing up to deport illegal criminals that are gang members and rapists and women beaters and child beaters and sex traffickers, and these lemmings are coming out of the woodwork to protect them. I don't think they know what the hell's going on. I think they're just doing it because they have Trump derangement syndrome. They don't like what's going on, and they're out there LARPing. I mean, one of the videos that came to light after Renee Good got shot, I guess her wife, girlfriend, whatever it was, literally screamed, "Why did you have real bullets? What the hell do you think they have? Nerf guns? Do you think they have less than lethal?" That's the problem, is they're used to these riot cops out there trying to maintain control in the streets where they have rubber bullets, where they have spicy air canisters, tear gas. That's not what they're dealing with. They're dealing with federal agents going after really bad people Thus, no shit, they've got real guns, real ammo, and they're gonna use them. Just saying. So Papa Chulo says qualified immunity. I'm assuming you're talking about the federal agent that shot that guy. We got to see how it goes, you know. Qualified immunity, yeah, I mean, that's the premise we all go with. But at the same time, if it turns out they disarmed the individual, then shot him, qualified immunity is not going to protect you. Remember, Fahey here in Connecticut tried to hide behind qualified immunity when he chased off Long Island Audit off his front yard with a gun in his hand. He tried to pull it, and the judge said no. And then Fahey got 18 months probation. Gary P.O. 2241 says, how do you know that it was an ICE agent? Because they were dressed and with ICE. That's every news agency out there saying it was an ICE agent. They were dressed. Now, I have seen some reports, because when you listen to the audio, it sounds like when they wrestled the guy to the ground, there was a singular shot and then a whole bunch of shots. So I saw some people discussing how when they wrestled him down to the ground, if he pulled out his gun, or maybe he had a P320, I don't know, that his firearm went off. That's when the ICE agent screams gun, 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 or he has a weapon, or whatever it was. And that's when they shoot him. Again, though, I've seen other videos, which I showed you, where everything is slowed down, and you have that one individual getting a gun and walking away with it, and he looks like an ICE agent. So we're going to have to wait and see what comes out. Louis Torres, maybe it was a SIG 320. Yep, I didn't even see your comment, and I just said, yeah, because when they wrestle him to the ground, you know, the 320 goes off, but obviously you saw the photo, it's not. Papa Chulo, stay home, stay alive. Hey, you know, that's great advice. Or, you know what, if you're going to go out and you're going to protest, more power to you. Go do it. Don't bring a gun. Don't get in their way. Don't get aggressive. Just stand on the side of the street, out of the road, with your signs, and yell. You know, I mean, that's what it's all about. Louis Torres says, sheep should not mess with a wolf. Yeah, I know. Again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm crapping on the cops, but we got to see how it all plays out. Was it good? Was it not good? I don't know. The Renee Good shooting, the video I saw right out the gate, I was like, no, that's a good shoot. This one, really murky. There's a lot of bodies involved, and it's really, really hard to see. So we don't know where the first shot came from. Did they remove his gun? How did they see his gun? Did he pull his own gun, and that's when they shot him? We don't know. We have to wait and see. I don't want to jump to conclusions and be wrong. Benefit of the doubt, though. That's what we have investigations for. Eric Borden says he could have had a backup. As far as I know, that was his only gun. Papa Chulo then says, send in the 1970 Ohio National Guard to shut it down. Well, Walz sent in the National Guard, but I think it's to fight ICE and to try and gain control of the protests. But Trump's got his own troops, and I heard rumors they're going to send them in to really just take control of the whole damn thing. And of course, in other news, you know, we sent an entire battle group from the Navy over to Iran, and Iran is now threatening. They said their fingers over the button, etc. So we got that going on. We had the whole Greenland debacle earlier in the week, which we really need to control Greenland, and it sounds like we're going to. Some things still have to be hashed out, but we don't want China or Russia controlling Greenland. Thus, we need to control it. It needs to be, it's in our sphere of influence. It's on our side of the world. We need to control it. Papa Chulo says, make grass grow in the streets. Oh my God. Oh, that's dark. And for those out there that don't understand that, blood makes the grass grow. Oh, Viking Queen says, good evening to Louis Torres. Eric Borden, the lady is clueless. Both parties think they're above the law. Yes, they do. Yeah, I saw a thing where it says Ilhan Omar is under investigation because her net wealth has jumped by 3,500% in the past year. I'm like, huh, that doesn't sound right. But hey, maybe she's just really good at trading. Lucy Torres says hi to Viking Queen. Eric Borden, nice for her to quote Stanley. Honestly, I bet you she didn't even know where it came from. It was probably some nerd on her staff that wrote it, which kudos to them, but them using pop culture references, come on. I don't think they're that. I don't think they're like that. I mean, because they'll say something cool like that. We're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they spout some dumb shit like fingerprints for guns and all. No. Staffer wrote it. Lou Torres, what's next? DNA activation for firearms? Yes, it's going to be like Judge Dredd. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. The old one with Sylvester Stallone, where the guns are keyed to the judge's DNA. Eric Borden, next thing, they'll come up with the DNA stamp for your ammo. Yep, watching too many movies. Lou Torres says his new summer carry rotation is going to include a 30 super carry, and he likes it. I'm a pretty simple person. I stick between the Glock 19, the Canik Met 9L, and something akin to like the 43X or something like that. I'm pretty simple. I've tried to carry the 19X before. I mean, I can. It really pokes out, and it's easy to. I print too much. The grip of it really sticks out. So I've got to wear maybe a bigger shirt, a sweatshirt. It's easy with a sweatshirt. It's hard to see, but like this flannel, you totally see it. And it's not this, but it's only a medium. So I'm not a big person. I'm kind of tiny. Have I heard anything about the lady from Plymouth? Coming from Eric Borden. Actually, I have, and I will pull it up. I got an email January 21st, and this is coming from the Savin program. It's a Vine email, which is the when you follow a court case, Connecticut, it's the statewide automated victim information notification system. It says a hearing has been scheduled for February 18th. This will take place in GA 15 New Britain Courthouse, located at the following address. It gives you the address, and that's it. That's the only update. I'd love to give you guys more, but I don't know if it's because her lawyers told her to or what, but she has literally blocked me on Facebook Messenger and things like that. Every now and then she does pop up in my personal feed, but even when I reach out to her, crickets. So I'm pretty sure her lawyers probably told her to do that just because, unfortunately it's a tragedy what's happening to her. It's a travesty what the state is doing to her and how they're weaponizing the laws. But that being said, the law's the law, whether you agree with it or not. I definitely don't agree with it, but the law was passed. It said to do this. She failed to do it. She didn't know the law got passed. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So the state said that they were not intending to use it the way they're currently using it, just so you know. It was designed to go after criminals. Well, I guess they lumped her into that. I thought it meant like gang members, things like, no, that's just you and me, the common citizen in Connecticut. Viking Queen had a comment, but I don't think it's for us. Let's see. Jay Foreman. Hi, Todd. We're ready for the snow here in Bristol. I see that Clay is still around. I'm ready to win him. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. This one, it's my Clay. All mine. Maybe we'll give him away in the future. Yes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Clay is gone. Yep, Clay got shipped out. Off he goes. We got giveaway stuff that we're piling up. Next is going to be the cleaning kits. We're not doing that tonight. We'll probably do it some other night. Lou Torres says, imagine protesting for the 2A. We have in the past. When they banned open carry, we went to the state capitol the last day that you could open carry, and we protested, and it was peaceful. There's videos of it. They literally just stood on the stairs with little picket signs and said, "You suck," stuff like that. No violence. And when they left, it was cleaner than when they showed up because they cleaned up their mess. Louis Torres says the 19X is a Glock 17 grip. Yes, it is. It's the slide of a 19 with the grip of a 17. It's my go-to combat handgun. That's what this gun belt right here is set up for. The Safariland holster down there is set up for the Glock 19 or 19X. Let's see. Woodwright says, I thought there was a no print law in Connecticut. So originally there was. It was part of HB Satan 7. And originally it was you couldn't print. They considered it brandishing. And the law was so screwed up they had to redo the law. And they got rid of that. And now it basically says that you cannot carry a gun with intent to display such a gun. So even if I'm printing, I'm not breaking the law. Even if you catch a glimpse of it because my shirt rides up while I'm reaching for something, no big deal. If when I'm getting out of my vehicle, let's say a parking lot, if I'm trying to cover it up and you see it, again, my intent is not for you to see it. That's why I'm covering it, and I'm not breaking the law. So, but yes, the original law had things like that. Louis Torres says that the 43X MOS is his main carry. My 43X is non-MOS. It is just a standard iron sights, etc. It has no Picatinny rail on it, and technically it's Mrs. Guru's gun. It's in her name, but she carries a 43, and I'll carry the 43X because spousal privilege. That's what I like. But yes, that's, for the record, that's Mrs. Guru's gun. Let's see. Viking Queen, the comment. Thanks you. I did. Was meaning I received clay. I'm glad she received clay. That's awesome. The Viking Queen got clay along with, I'm sure, all the little stickers and patches that were thrown in, which I do have duplicates of those. So maybe we'll pull the duplicates out at some point and give those away in other things. But with that being said, the chat has runneth dry. I've read them all slowly. And it is 2000. So instead of sitting here watching me yap on and on, go spend time with your family. Go make sure you have your last minute preps for the Snowpocalypse coming later this evening into tomorrow all the way through Monday. I myself, I'm going to chill, relax, maybe play a little Red Dead Redemption. Somehow I got hooked back on the game and I'm doing my 3rd or 4th playthrough. So I avoided getting tuberculosis as long as I could, and then the game forces you basically to do that mission, and you end up with tuberculosis once again. Spoiler alert if you haven't played it. So that's it. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Please stay off the roads tomorrow. Stay safe during our blizzard, and take it easy when clearing everything out. It's supposed to be super freaking cold. So, all right, stand by. I'll have new videos during the week. For the rest of you guys, have a great night, and I'll talk to you all later.